Happened. It was quite funny because like she just kept going. She was just like, this happened, I killed a god, this happened, and it just kept going. Ambrose goes off with Atreides at some point, and he actually starts forging Ferric a ring to give to Adalia. Adalia goes off and she acts spunk. She asks the universe a sign. She asks Spunk for a sign, like if she's doing a good job, she's protecting Ferric, all that stuff. Should she marry Ferric? And she gets a sign. It was a giant toad kind of on a rock somewhere, and she takes that as like, yeah. So they turn in for the night, and Adalia tells Pickles to wake up Ferric and to bring him to her. And she proposes to Ferric. She asks Ferric to marry her. And I was like, oh, this is so sweet. This is a good send-off. This is a good like way to end the first campaign. And I just thought it was real good. So the episode ends there, and I don't know. There's one episode left. And let me there's one episode left, and that episode is titled Endings and Beginnings, and it's 4 hours and 36 minutes long. Wild. So 4 hours and 36 minutes. One episode's left. I'm excited. One episode left of my favorite podcast. You know, what else? What could go wrong? Hopefully the group doesn't get into this big argument at the end of the podcast and they are like, we're never gonna do anything again with each other. So anyway, so yeah, But there's a lot, and I said I'm not going to do that many theories. There's a lot going on, and I'm going to do my next episode on this is going to be a big wrap up. So just kind of like going over everything and theories that didn't get answers, stuff that got left unanswered. So I like this one. Wasn't more or less my favorite episode because of the first half of the episode. The battle with the Harbinger and the Dark Matron, because the Harbinger ended kind of anticlimactic. Not discounting their cunning prowess in battle. They did a good job. It was just, I don't know, it just felt very anticlimactic. I thought he was going to come back in a new form. Then the Dark Matron showed up and I was like, okay, she's going to bring him back to life and have this creature and whatever. And I don't know. And then the battle with the Dark Matron was just, I don't know. It just didn't feel like final boss battle enough for me. So I that's my only problem with the episode. Everything, the Ferric and Adalia getting married type stuff, that was great. The Scammandia showing up. Again, I've been that DM who's like, I'm just gonna have a funny character show up. So I get it. That was hilarious to me. He just had all this magical gear now. And it's just like, okay. But yeah, the battle was kind of anticlimactic, and especially Ambrose being like, I don't care if you like, no, if I don't want to know about my family. But I do get that. I just think that was probably me as a player being like, I think I would have been like, all right, she knows my family. So it might be me projecting a little bit. So I don't know, but I'm definitely going to give this episode God, a 7 out of 10. This episode gets a 7 out of 10. I did like it. I just find too many faults, and I don't know if they're my faults because I'm projecting what I wanted onto something or whatever. But I did like this episode. I just whatever. We're gonna stop. Anyway, yeah. So next time I do Power Word Fail will possibly be my last Power Word Fail review for Campaign 1. But never ever forget, you are loved, you matter, and you're important. Thank you guys for tuning in to Miles TV. Bye.